Yeah,
sounds good to me.
I just pray this doesn't fall again.
This is a really boring intro.
We'll just get it started.
You want to do it? You got it.
No, I'll get it. I mean, we normally just talk for a little bit before, and
Isn't that what we're doing?
Paranoid.
how do you think? This is the longest break we've taken. So, do you think you're ready, equipped to come back into the podcast, and like ready to talk? Are you in the right headspace for this today?
Yeah.
You feel
I
like you're in a good
guess.
headspace?
You just told me I'm
I'm really
bro.
tired. That's why.
What did you do today that made you tired?
Worked out, man. I don't know.
Dude, I worked out today, and there weren't a lot of people in the gym,
Mm-hmm.
but for some reason, everyone was at the one machine that I wanted to go to every damn time.
Yeah.
Every
Really?
time I would, and it was just
There was a lot of
It took
people
a
that
lot
last
longer than it
today
should've.
where we were
I
at.
feel like mine is like turned up really high. Keep going. Sorry.
nah. I think we're good, but yeah, I don't know.
When everybody goes to the same
Damn.
this fucking table. When everybody goes to the same machine, it's kind of annoying.
It's the worst when someone's walking in front of you too, and you know they're gonna go to the one that you're going to. Like
There's
hate-
usually like two of each thing, right?
Nah, not all the time.
I hate going to the gym and sitting there and waiting for machines or whatever. Because at Planet Fitness they only have two. They only have two machines.
It's
like
better
per,
than the rec center though.
which rec center? Oh, the A&M rec
yeah.
center.
Oh yeah, that
that
Place
one's
is
always packed.
terrible.
That one's always packed.
We went there like once or twice. I think
To
we might have
lift?
been- Yeah.
I've been
last
there
year,
a couple times to lift. It's
and
an
it took
it's a good
forever, dude.
it's a good environment though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's just too small. For
Planet
how many
Fitness-
people there are.
I don't feel motivated to like go in and lift.
I don't feel Planet Fitness at all, dude. I went
But
to
when
the rec. Back home. And that
Mhm.
was a lot better than that was the best workout I've had.
Really?
Yeah.
And see, I'm fucking privileged getting Lifetime and shit.
Yeah.
Like going to Lifetime, you just feel really pumped to go and lift. You're like, okay, like I'm gonna
Not
destroy
always.
this. For
Yeah.
me, dude, if I have Lifetime, like it just takes my workout to another level. I don't know why.
I think I've got my picture posted on the wall there in the
I like
back
that.
office because of
I
the amount of
think you're-
times I've gotten caught hopping the fence trying to sneak in.
Did they take your
What's
picture one
that?
time?
Yeah, what's that process like? Like, where do you sneak in and what do you do?
So you know where the tennis courts are.
Yeah.
So I used to just go in the back behind the bushes and like look through the fence and wait for no one to be on the court, and I would just wait for it to be clear. And I did it the first couple times and there were no problems. I just walked right in and I was good. But one time I hopped it and then I was just walking by and these two guys were standing there like right past the entrance and they're like, "Hey man, you gotta go." And he was like, "You can't just sneak in here like that." And I was like there was no one there, so I don't know how he saw me. I was confused on how he saw me.
Wait, because you were outside, right? Like you were back
Yeah.
in the back where there's nobody there.
Mm-hmm. So
They probably have cameras.
Was it a
that's what I was
worker?
thinking. Yeah, it was a worker. It was a guy that
Oh.
worked there. It was the guy that worked in that little shack next to the
Was it like during the day?
Yeah, it was during the day. So he's like, "You gotta go, man." And I was like, "Can I just go out the door?" He's like, "No, you gotta hop the fence again." He's like, "You gotta hop back over." And I
That's
was like,
why.
"Damn." And so like a couple days later, I did the same thing, and I made it past the tennis courts, and then I walked by the shack, and he came out of the shack. He's like, "Hey, I told you the other day, you can't be doing this, man." And he just started going off on me. He let me in though.
Really?
He let me in the second time.
Wow.
What did he say? He was like, if I
He
let
was
you in
just
this
like-
one time, you won't do this
He
again.
was like, if you get hurt or something, then we have no, we're liable for that, and we have no information on you because you're sneaking in. And he was like, "I'll let you in this one time, but if I catch you again, I'm calling the cops." And I was like, "All right, sounds good, dude."
That's
So I
funny.
I walked right in.
I know one time I was trying to go into the gym and they just randomly shut down and there was like a fire truck outside. And so like I'm trying to go in. It's probably later at night. It's like 11:30 to 12, like in the like late at night. And I walk up to the front and there was one dude working, like only one, for like the whole night shift thing.
Yeah.
And it's a big gym. And he was like, "Oh yeah, like we found someone like face down in the pool." Like
No way.
like at night. Yeah. And so they shut down like the whole place and there was a fire truck and apparently this chick lived, but it was like a new worker that had just gotten hired.
It was a worker.
And she she didn't really know English even that well. Like she was just cleaning the gym and stuff, and they found her like face down in the pool. But apparently she lived. Like I don't know how. I guess they resuscitated her.
Dang.
Yeah, how
she just fell in the pool and couldn't swim, I guess, and then drowned.
The pool was closed, so there were no lifeguards on duty?
No, yeah, pool was closed. This was like late at night.
Wow.
I was surprised that like she lived. I think she did.
She probably
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That's what they said. But
I mean, it's after like a certain amount of minutes where you have brain damage, though.
Yeah.
If you
guess
drown.
like they.
no, yeah. I don't know what the deal with that was, but I just know it was literally they shut it down.
Damn.
I didn't know about that. How long ago was that?
We were still in high school. Like
Oh no, I remember that. Like
Yeah,
I
we were
remember
still in
like
high
we
school.
would drive by and there was like randomly there would be like trucks there or something.
well, one of those times it was that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Alright,
It's
you want to
crazy.
roll the intro?
yeah, we can roll the intro. I'm hearing our roommates in the background
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now. We can
Roommates
shut
is-
their door.
I'm gonna
But yeah,
text
let's
them.
roll the intro music.
Music.
Oh no, these things they come and they go. I spend my
Y'all might as well get the music ready because it's finna take a while.
5, 4,
3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. And let's
the things I suppose.
There it is, a win for the ages. Lillard, long range three, and it's good! At the buzzer! Damian Lillard! Are you kidding me?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Foers Podcast. I'm Alex. I'm joined today by Preston and Adam. We got some good topics today, talking about new music coming out very, very soon. We've got a new J. Cole album and much, much more. We're going to be talking a little bit about dreams. Adam has a little segment he wants to do on dreams.
I'm
Some
excited.
research. I think he's excited for that. And then also we have a big divorce that was announced this week. That's in the news that we wanted to kind of touch on and give our thoughts on. Maybe a little NBA talk. We'll see what's up with that. But to start off with, the biggest news of this week for me, it is currently, a Wednesday today?
Mm-hmm.
I think yesterday was announced J. Cole is dropping his new album. What's it going to be called?
The off season.
The Off Season. J. Cole's dropping his new album called The Off Season. I'm a huge J. Cole fan. I don't know
Yeah.
about you guys. I don't know
I'm
about
not the biggest J. Cole fan. I don't hate him though.
Yeah, but I'm really excited for it. I think people don't understand how much this means to everybody that is a fan, that is a J. Cole fan, and just knowing how much he's just gonna go off in this album. I mean,
When's
I
the
think
last
this is
time
gonna
he
be a
released
game
an
changer.
album?
2018.
KOD.
KOD.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, that was that long ago.
Yeah. So I think
been a while,
this
bro.
is gonna be a big deal, and it's gonna be good. Like
If it took him this long.
Yeah, I don't have any doubts in his ability, honestly. Now, he's proven himself over time and time again, starting with his most classic album, I think, was Cole World.
Yeah.
That's
Is
what
that
started
the
my-
one where he's like sitting on the roof?
No, that's 2014.
2014.
Forest Hills Drive. That's probably the one that everybody knows of, like, the classic J. Cole album.
Yeah.
That's probably the one that's, like, start to finish.
Yeah.
You could start with the first song and just love every minute of it till the end. Besides, the ending song is, like, 13
I feel
minutes.
like J.
but-
Cole is the kind of album where like you're either like a huge fan or you're like his only like his hits.
Do you think so? There's
I
a
feel
lot
like
of people
no,
that hate
like,
on him,
middle
though.
ground.
I don't see, and I don't know why.
There's
I
a
don't
lot
get
of
the
people that
hate.
hate on him. Like,
He's
KOD, everybody was shitting on him for that.
Really?
Yes.
the thing that I like about J. Cole is he's not a lavish guy. Like you'll see him on commercial airlines, like commercial flights. You'll see him just
That's
riding his
dope.
bike to get from place to place. Like he's just a normal dude.
I feel like he carries himself very, like,
Yeah.
normal, humbly, and just wants to make good music.
Yeah,
He
that's
produces
all
a
he cares about.
lot of his own tracks, too.
Does he really?
Yeah, so do you know the song Wet Dreams?
Yeah.
That's one of his big hits. He produced that song.
Wow.
Yeah, he took a sample and then he broke it down and, transposed it and made it into a beat and then wrote the whole song too. And so he's one of the rappers too that he'll write most of his stuff. I don't think he gets a lot of help. I know that a lot of other rappers do kind of get some help, from either sometimes from a ghostwriter. Most of the time they'll credit whoever helps them write. Sometimes it's a producer or whatever, but J. Cole mostly writes all of his own music.
Is he gonna have a lot of features on it, or are his albums usually just him?
It just depends. It could be a feature heavy album, but most of the time
it's just him.
Judging
most
from
of the time, yeah, it's
his
just
past albums, I don't think it will be.
No.
You think he's just going to continue that trend?
I think he'll probably.
Were there not
continue
many
the trend of-
features on his last album?
No, on KOD
There weren't any features.
there were no
features.
No rapping verse features from prominent figures.
I don't think there were any features.
On KOD there were a couple, but they were for hooks.
Yeah, okay.
And
What
then
about, I don't think Forest Hills Drive there were any
no,
features.
he didn't have any features on that. That was one of the only, I don't know if I'm right about this, but it was one of the only rap albums that went platinum with zero features. That one had absolutely zero features. He was doing the verses, all the hooks, everything.
Yeah.
That's
to hold
crazy.
that whole album. Yeah. It's honestly one of my favorite albums just for that reason. It's only him. And he produced a lot of the tracks on there too.
Yeah.
But what he's been doing recently, and why I think he'll go so hard on this album, by the way, is just it's going to be one of his first solo releases since he formed Dreamville. And that group released a lot of their music after KOD. So this is his return to solo
Didn't
career.
Dreamville have an album though?
No,
they had
Dreamville
a
had
record
multiple.
label.
Yeah,
Is
no,
it a
no.
record label?
So he started, yeah.
Or is it his kind of the Cactus Jack thing Travis Scott
Yeah,
has?
it's themed kind of like that. He started that record label, and I'm pretty sure he's had it for a while. But when he got the whole group together, Boss and a bunch of those other guys, Camera ran out of battery. Okay, we'll change that. But they started that and then started creating those albums pretty quickly after. So I'm gonna go change the camera, but
I listened to that album again for the first time in a while, and there were a lot of songs that I missed.
Really?
It was a good album, and he gifted us with that. But yeah, I love J. Cole. I'm a huge fan of J. Cole. I think this will exceed all expectations.
I'm not the biggest fan, but I'm also excited to hear it. I'm not gonna hate on him. I don't hate his music.
Yeah. You're not like Hunter. For some reason, bro.
Oh yeah, our friend
Hunter.
He's a big hater on J.
Hates him
Cole
for no reason.
But everyone has their own opinions, and I think that's fair.
But yeah,
he's
J.
very.
Cole, he raps about, stuff that matters, real stuff. It's not a bunch of fake.
And Hunter's very he has a certain.
Yeah, he has a specific taste.
Yeah, and I think you and Alex both are y'all listen to anything.
Yeah.
Y'all have your specific types that y'all like, but y'all are really open to any kind of music.
yeah, I think that's what I try to do with my musical taste is just expand and make sure that I'm really hitting. Oh,
Why is it doing that?
I don't know. It buzzed at me. What I try to do a lot of the time is even if I feel like I don't really want to listen to that specific genre or whatever at that moment in time, I really try to expand my knowledge.
Yeah.
I want to be well versed in all genres. I don't know why, but it's just something that I really take pride in. So not only do I like people like J. Cole, but I'm really big fans of I was looking at my top artists on Spotify the other day. Frank Ocean's number 2, which is kind of I wouldn't expect him to be up there. But then Tyler the Creator was 3, and I think Red Hot Chili Peppers were 5.
You gotta have a good variety.
Yeah. And it's not only the Drake was still my number 1 though, which was interesting because I feel like I don't listen to him that much.
I think Kid Cudi's my number 1 right now.
Yeah.
Drake's your number 1. I
Drake is
still
my
wouldn't.
number
I
one.
wouldn't think that if I was just trying to figure.
That's what
out
I'm
it
saying.
was.
I didn't think it would be Drake, honestly.
I would think Mac Miller would be up there for you.
Mac actually might be my number 1. I don't know who's
Because
my number 1.
you listen to him nonstop.
Mac is definitely in my top 5. I can't remember what number he was, but it was weird that Drake was my number 1 and then Frank Ocean was my number 2.
This is all time, right? Since you've had Spotify.
Is it the amount of
Or is
time
it
you
just?
listen?
I think this. I don't know.
It's
I
every
think it
year.
might have
If
been
you
the
were-
past month or something,
Oh, if it's past month
or past year or something. I don't know. I didn't look. All time is a weird one for
That's
me
what
because
it is. You probably
my all time is very weird because I used to be huge country music fan.
Okay.
Like
You told
I'm
me
talking
this
like
before.
sophomore year of high school, I think. So a lot of those guys are probably still on there. A lot of
you like
rock
never
music.
listen to country
And
music.
then like
now.
stuff like, so when I used to go work out like early, like 5 a.m. is when I would get up in high school to go work out. I would listen to like Korn and Metallica and like a ton of the heavy rock
That's
or
like
like
workout
new
music,
metal.
though.
Korn for me is like it's like a guilty pleasure artist for me because I don't find myself ever really listening to them just
Is that just
throughout
the
the
type
day.
of music where they're just screaming in your ear? Or is
So
Yeah, it's
Korn
like-
Korn doesn't really scream that much. It's
Yeah.
more like new metal. I like in you is what
Okay.
they call it. In you, like in you, new metal. I don't know why they call it that.
Okay.
But it's like Linkin Park kind of.
Oh, okay.
I guess
Alright.
it's like a
Oh.
mix between like I would say metal and screamo. It's like in between that because they don't scream a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They actually like sing to a lot of their stuff.
But it's just like really like.
But
kinda
it's
loud.
really heavy. It's like really
It's
heavy.
just loud and
Yeah.
like kind of screaming,
It's
but
like,
like not.
chaotic too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of it is very chaotic. The drum breaks on it though are nuts. Like some of my favorite drum fills and like if anyone doesn't know what a fill is, it's like when they're going with this specific pattern and then they mix it up. So if they're just going with the boom boom ba, boom 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 ba, and then they go boom 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 boom, and then in between like a verse or a chorus or something.
Yeah.
Those to me like really get me amped up. I don't know why.
Yeah, I've
No,
noticed that Alex, like, when he listens to a song, he, like, dissects it. And he's like, we listened to this song the other day, and he was like, bro, I hate this song. I was like, why? He's like, because of the freaking hi-hats, bro. And I'm like, what the hell even
What
is that?
song was it? Do you
I don't
remember?
know.
I forget, but yeah, it was really annoying.
It was
me
some,
because
like,
the,
normal
the
song.
hi-hat
that, like,
pattern
is-
was just like really annoying.
And
me.
it was just, like, normal song that, like, is
Yeah.
pretty popular. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But then Alex was like, the song sucks. Like, I just can't listen to it because of the hi-hats. I'm like, bro,
That's
what?
how I'd
That's
be
funny.
listening to music though. So like if I like, I would say first time I listened to an album, or okay, this is what I do with my musical like knowledge and stuff that I like. Not that I have more knowledge than most, but because I like grew up playing concert piano and because like I, have like wanted to produce music and stuff. Like I have a knowledge of music and I feel like I can dissect it. So like when I listen to something new for the first time, I just kind of listen to it like straight away, just like how it is. I'll listen to the words or just like I'll just envelop myself in the song and not really listen to anything specific. But after that, it's like I'm listening to specifically the guitar part or like specifically only the words or only the drums or so. Then if I find something I don't like in a song, it's usually on like the second or third time of listening. Sometimes I know like right away.
Yeah.
And I think we all know like if we're going to like a song, we probably know within the first 30 seconds, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
That's
But
when I find if I so on Spotify they have the what's it called it's a like playlist
For You.
for you weekly something like that.
yeah.
Discover Weekly, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And I shuffle that sometimes, but I don't listen to every song all the way. I kind of just skip towards the middle part of it and I give it 5 or 10 seconds.
Really?
And if it sounds good, I start it from the beginning and then I just
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's what I do.
That's a unique
I don't
take
like
on how
people
to
that do that. No
what do you
offense.
do?
Really?
Well, like, that reminded me because we've been talking about Hunter a lot, but Hunter, when he listens to an album, he'll go and he'll just like play it and then he'll like just skip through it and like listen to it
really?
for 2
Yeah,
seconds.
that's different. If it's an album of an artist that
Yeah.
I actually like, I always start it from the beginning
like
and don't
he,
shuffle it
like
and
I would
let
be
it
like,
go down.
oh, like text him like, hey, like this album's good, and then he would be like, oh yeah, I'll check it out, and like 5 minutes later he's like, oh, it wasn't that good. I was like, what?
Yeah. No, I don't do that with albums. If
That doesn't make any sense.
if
Like
it's
he
on the
literally
playlist, like-
literally will just pull it up and just
Yeah.
like go like just skim through it and listen. I'm like, dude, what?
We're just
Doesn't
talking
make
mad
any
shit on this
sense.
podcast now.
Yeah,
but
Yeah,
Hunter.
F you, Hunter.
If you're watching this, you suck.
I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
actually have him on the
Yeah, we'll have
podcast
him
like
on.
next week.
Probably next episode. Yeah.
But what like how do you listen to music then?
I would say I like music based on like melodies and like
But how do you listen to it? So like
I listen to like the I don't know what the terminology is, but like kind of
Do
like
you just go?
I
in
don't
and
really
listen
to
the
the
full song?
words.
Oh,
I
okay.
listen to
you
more
just
of like
listen but you just feel out the beat of
the
it.
beat and
Yeah.
like the way it feels.
Yeah.
If it like makes me want to like jam out or like bump my head or like do something like that, then I'll like it.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of like like I'm more into like a pop, like more into that style of music.
I see you as like one of your favorite albums being Funky Wave Bounces by Calvin Harris.
Yeah,
I feel like that's
that's
like,
a good album. Like
that
in general,
that
though.
very much. I know it's a great album, but I feel like that is just like if you had to pick an album that really like defined your style that you loved, it would be that.
I feel like I have a very specific style, but I also listen to anything.
I feel like Quinn stuff is like right up your alley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Quinn.
I'm also like a big the band Camino fan. I was also a big
Yeah,
1975
yeah.
fan, but like when because the band Camino in 1975 are kind of like similar in like their styles. So like that also too is like, because they're both like kind of alternative in a way.
I would say it's more like alt pop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say that. But like that's like my biggest like liking of music is that area, I guess.
What do you think is yours?
I don't really have a specific sound.
I feel
that
like I don't either.
Yeah.
But I definitely have, for example, like my favorite. If I were to give you like a list of my top 5 favorite albums, it would kind of be all over the place because of how many genres I actually like and appreciate.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's basic, like Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd, automatically in there. Automatically, because like I've grown up listening to that my whole life, and so any song off of that I would love, but that's a lot different than like I feel like I could listen to it anywhere, but if I were to choose like an album that was like I feel like gave me the most complete like genre bending and also like most classic moments of my life, just like it might even be Take Care by Drake. Like, and I'm not the biggest Drake fan in the world ever. Like, I'm not a huge stan or anything. But that album has just so many classics on it, and also just songs that I feel like have served a purpose in my life. Like songs that I could be like, okay, this song was popular, or I played this song like at a very happy moment.
Or a very sad moment.
Yeah, that's like that album just has so many good songs for any mood on it. Like, think about Crew Love with The Weeknd. You got Lord Knows with Rick Ross.
Yeah.
Marvin's
you have
Room.
great Marvin's Room for your feels.
Yeah.
The Motto with Lil Wayne.
The motto, yeah, dude. I remember I was in
Dude,
like
that
5th
song
grade
was
or something,
headlines.
listening to the motto, and I was like, "Yo,
Do you want to know my The Motto story?
That's where
is
YOLO
cool.
came from, you know? Remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah. So basically, I was in probably 4th or 5th grade on the playground. One of my friends, I know exactly who the friend is. I'm not going to say his name, but I know exactly which friend showed me this. And if he watched this podcast, he'd probably remember this moment too. But we were like on the playground after school. Sun's like just setting. It's probably like September, October.
It's a crisp 72 degrees outside.
It's like crisp as fuck. It's like a crisp 72 degrees. And
precipitation.
he was the only one with the phone. This man like had a cool ass phone. It was like some Motorola Razr phone.
Yeah.
He was
And
getting all the ladies back in elementary
he was
school.
like, "Yo, yeah, he definitely was."
Because he had a phone.
No, like he had a cool phone. Like I didn't even have one, and he
Yeah.
had a dope ass phone for like that moment in time. It was really cool. And I remember he pulled up this song and he was like, "You guys won't believe this." And I was like, okay. And I was like, we were like checking to see if any teachers were around. We were like very
After
paranoid.
school?
Yes, after school. We were like very paranoid. And he pulls up the motto and like, you know, within the first like 10 seconds, it's like 4 F-bombs or something. And we were just sitting there and we were just giggling our asses off. Like, we were just laughing so hard because we'd never heard that many cuss words. We were like, oh my gosh, this guy's cussing so much. It was so funny. It was
What
so
year
funny.
did that come out? What year?
That came out in 2011.
Dang, so we were 10.
But I think it was a single. Yeah. There was a single probably.
What
So
year-
probably
what-
2010.
What, that was like 4th, 5th grade.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's when I heard the song for the first time was 4th and 5th grade. And then I never heard another song off that album for like another like probably 2 years because I just wasn't into that type of music. But I'd heard that song because of how many cuss words were in it. And it was just so funny just knowing that as like a 4th grader, I was listening to that and like looking around for all the teachers to like get me in trouble or whatever. It was so funny. And I could only imagine like and we just walked back, like knowing that moment like changed my life because I was like, that moment it really did change my life. Cause I was like, cause from that moment on, I was like, okay, I could dig this kind of music. And I started listening to stuff like that. After I listened to that song, I went back and like listened to Eminem and like all this other stuff, and then Eminem propelled me to like get into all this different kind of music. And if it weren't for the motto, then I might have not listened to rap music for like another 3 years after that. Yeah. But I started listening to rap music because of that song.
I think Eminem was the first rapper I listened to.
Really?
Yeah, like 4th grade.
I bet Drake was probably me. I don't even remember.
You don't remember?
I'm sure it was Drake.
That was my like vivid introduction into rap music, because before that, I feel like it was kind of frowned upon because we were like suburban white kids. Like, I don't know. We just never. I
mean, I don't think any kid in like elementary school is like gonna be like shown rap music willingly.
No, because of how like vulgar it was. I feel like no kid was like introduced to it that young.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but when I was that young, in order to download music on my iPod or whatever, there was a password for it, and I had to ask my parents to listen to the song before I downloaded it.
We'd have to like use MP3 players and like download it like illegally on these websites and like upload it to our MP3 players and listen it to that.
What I would do is my dad had this software called LimeWire. I don't know if y'all remember this, but
I know what that is.
So we played like a monthly subscription, and it's basically like it's SoundCloud but unchecked. Like you can upload anything, and so that's how our computers would like get so many viruses on it, was because we would go and download like illegal music off of LimeWire. It was crazy. It was so funny. And I remember just sitting there with my MP3 player like on my computer, going to download like Nickelback songs on my off of LimeWire. And that's like I was unchecked like in that category, because anybody could upload a song. Also, you could like put the song title as something like, let's say you had, I don't know, like Creep by Radiohead or something or whatever, right? That was a song I would want to download when I was younger. But you could take that title and put a completely different song on that title. So it didn't even have to be the song. Also, it could be like a cover of that song. Yeah. And because you could search it up and there would be like millions of options related to that one song. So you just click download and then you would move it to your MP3 player. But I just remember like just downloading everything to my MP3 player.
What I want to know also is, why do people still not pay for like Spotify or Apple Music? Like, people still like, if they don't pay for either one, like they have to buy. You know how each song is like $1.29 or something. Like people still do that.
People still buy music, instead of streaming it. That is a little odd.
I haven't thought about that.
Like I saw somebody post it on their thing, and it was like $129. I was like, they don't stream, like just buy Apple Music. It's way cheaper.
The only reason I would say like I've ever bought an album was because I wanted to support an artist.
Support the artist.
But that was all.
Like,
but they still get like the downloads is still a thing that they get paid for, right?
No, I know. It's like, I remember being in high school and like having extra money laying around or whatever.
Yeah,
and just being like,
go buy a song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
get a little iTunes gift cards, so you go spend it on a
I
album.
actually bought Flower Boy by Tyler the Creator. I bought that album because I wanted to support him, but that was in high school. And then everybody else, I feel like I don't know, there hasn't really
people
been
people that like buy CDs.
Yeah,
I mean, buying CDs is kind of pointless. I bought a CD
unless you like consistently have a CD player.
The only reason I bought a CD, the only CD I have is Circles by Mac, and the only reason I bought it is because he released those 2 bonus songs before on the CD before it was on streaming platforms. So I went to buy the CD first.
Like Justin Bieber did that with his newest album. Where he like had specific like unreleased bonus songs on his CDs. I'm like,
on a CD or on a vinyl?
On a CD.
A vinyl would be.
It was
I
on
could
the
see-
vinyl too.
Okay, I could
Yeah.
see
It was
it
on both.
being like, okay, I'm gonna release a special edition on a vinyl, because I would say more
He'd
people
make
have
more money off of that.
vinyl now
Yeah.
Because it's
than they
like
do CDs.
Oh, yeah.
There's no point in
For
having
sure.
a
people buy
CD.
vinyls and they still use them all the time.
Yeah, I think people buy vinyl and use it more than
Yeah.
CDs.
Yeah, for sure. Because CDs, like, nobody is like going to buy like a vintage CD player.
Yeah,
People want to go and buy like
yeah,
vintage
yeah.
looking
The aesthetic
vinyl.
of
because
The
vinyl
vinyl
actually
is-
sounds good.
Vinyl
CDs
sounds a
yeah.
lot better,
Yeah,
and just the aesthetic of it. Everyone
Yeah.
wants to go to
There's
record stores. and,
little static filter on there a little bit.
yeah.
record stores are cool.
Yeah,
That's my type of place. Like I could just sit in a record
they're
store.
expensive though.
For vinyl.
Some
yeah.
of them sometimes they can be really
Yeah.
expensive.
What's the most you've spent on one?
Like 30. No more than 40.
Oh, okay.
In the 30s probably.
That's not that bad.
But there's
like brand new or like
blonde,
used.
brand new.
Yeah.
Blonde. There's like limited.
Oh, like an
edition,
original print
that
of
is
it.
expensive. I think it's
Yeah.
like thousands of
Oh,
dollars.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, an original print of that would be
Yeah.
a lot of money.
Yeah.
I feel like.
All right, y'all want to move on to a different topic?
Sure, I'm always down to talk about music, but
Yeah.
I mean, we could keep going.
no, it's all good.
Let's you want to talk about my punishment?
Yeah, let's talk
your-
about Adam's
your
punishment.
punishment, because we could talk about basketball a little bit too.
All right, you
You
give the
can-
explanation. You
yeah,
give
you
them a
go
little
for it.
backstory.
So when we start this January, we started
Was
our
that the
we have a
beginning of the
fantasy
NBA season?
Yeah.
Oh,
fantasy
when we
basketball.
started fantasy basketball is
Yeah.
whenever the season started.
So fantasy basketball started in like January. We had a draft and everything.
No,
First
it
year.
started like right before Christmas.
Yeah.
First year we've ever
Okay.
played.
Yeah, first year. So, I mean, I didn't really know what I was doing, really.
None of us knew because it was brand
Just
new.
when it came to strategy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I had the best strategy with I drafted a bunch of good players, a bunch of stars. And what my strategy was trading those stars away for multiple like 40-point average players. Because the stars average like 50s, 60s.
Like
And-
mid 40s.
Yeah, yeah. And then players like Zach LaVine or, who else is a good one? Chris Middleton. I don't know. Someone in the 40s.
Yeah.
That's who I wanted. I wanted to trade top tier players for decent players and fill my roster up with those, with a bunch of 40 average players. Where I went wrong was I couldn't get any waiver players to play for me on days where I needed people to play.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I learned. Okay, so basically the punishment is, though, I lost the league. I sold myself. I have to swim in our friend's pond, big ass pond with a fountain in the middle of it. I have to swim to the fountain and back.
I feel like
So-
that's not that. I mean, it's not that bad if you hear that, but there's snakes and snapping turtles.
I'm wearing a cup because if a snapping turtle tries to go for my jewels, it's not gonna be good.
That would be bad. I mean, I don't think it's that bad, like having to just swim out there. But it's
Yeah.
what's in the water is what's kind of.
I think in the water is gross. It's not bad.
Yeah, but
that you
it's
have
like
to
just like a
swim it.
lake.
No,
it's literally a lake, a small
Nah,
lake.
it's grosser
I
than
think
the
it's
lake.
worse than a
How?
lake.
How is it grosser than
I
a lake?
feel like there's gonna be like, first of all, the bottom of it is not that deep. Like he
Really?
can stand up in it, and the
How is
bottom
it?
is
How
gonna
is it
be-
worse than a lake?
The bottom
though?
is gonna be mushy and just feel gross, and there's gonna be
It's just
algae.
mud.
I'm
It's
not
gonna be
gonna
mud.
stand at the bottom.
I know,
though.
but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like if you were to
It's
happen
literally
to
a
do
lake. Like a lake is the same thing.
that, okay, I guess it's not that bad of a punishment, but I feel like I wouldn't willingly.
I'd much rather
want to
do this
it.
punishment than the fantasy football punishment.
Tell everybody the fantasy football.
Then
punishment
stand on the
then.
side of the road in our underwear with a sign that says I suck at fantasy football
I
for
don't
30
know,
minutes on
that's
the
a
main
toss-up
road.
To me. That's a toss
Really?
up to me.
You would rather do that than,
rather-
than
Bro, I
swim
have
in a
zero
lake.
shame in doing public like.
You would rather
things.
do that than swim in a lake, basically.
Yeah, and it's not a lake. I mean, I don't know.
It's the same thing. I mean, there's the same animals in there as the lake too. There's snakes and turtles in the lake.
not like in the middle of the lake though.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
They're
smaller.
not gonna get you.
too.
Yeah, it's smaller, but like it's the
I
same
don't
thing.
know.
It's literally a mini
I don't
lake.
know. To me, I just don't want to jump in that pond because it's gross as fuck. But I know it's filtered though. Like that
Well,
water
that's-
like shoots out the spout.
See, then
and
that's
it's, like,
even
filtered.
better than a lake because the lake's not filtered.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's
I don't know
reassuring.
my thoughts. I haven't lost yet, so I feel
Oh,
like
wow.
I think
I
that
feel like I can't, since I got second in the league, once we get to the point where I'm in the position to lose, then I'll give my comment. Thoughts.
Once you're in the position
But I
of
don't
losing,
really
you have a
an
different opinion.
Yeah, I don't have an
I think
opinion.
this punishment is better than the other one we were thinking of, where you have to go around campus and act like you're guarding people.
Yeah, that was stupid.
That one.
I don't
Nah,
like that.
I
That's
don't-
dumb.
Because what if someone was just having a really shitty day? They failed the test or something. They're walking back from
And you
class.
went
You
in-
choose,
Like,
the
that's
wrong-
not-
you choose
that's
the
not
wrong person
embarrassing.
to fuck with.
I don't
and you
feel
Yeah.
like that's embarrassing either. Like, that's just like you walking
It's
around
just
campus
weird.
and like just
No,
annoying
I mean,
people.
Yeah, it's just annoying, and I just feel like it would piss people off if you just walked up to them and wouldn't let them walk by and just
Have
acted
you-
like you were
Yeah.
yelling them or something.
Have you seen any of those like TikTok pranks that you just get really annoyed by?
the
like
ones that
you're
Cody
just-
Ko reacts to, the
Some of
stupid
them.
ass ones?
Which
Yeah.
ones?
Like some of them are just dumb as fuck.
There's one where this dude like he has a shopping cart. And
Yeah.
He just acts like he just runs into people that are walking
Yeah.
by him.
And
they're like, oh, sorry, like they think it was an accident at first.
That's
and
so
they're like sorry
annoying.
and try to walk by, and he just keeps on bumping.
And it's like,
into them.
okay, this is what really upsets me. Like, because
They're just doing it for views.
First of all, it just seems really pointless. And then second, the people start off just being like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry." Like they're
They're
just
just
like,
minding the
"Oh, my
business.
bad,
They're just
my bad."
shopping for
and
groceries.
then everybody in the comments is like, "Oh, what a Karen!" And it's like, dude, if somebody came up to me and just started ramming into my cart repeatedly,
Yeah.
and I was just like looking at them like, "What are you doing?" Like I would be getting mad.
Yeah,
See, I
I'd
feel like
And
I
they-
feel like it's hard because I feel like half those people like they know like, oh, this might be like somebody trying to prank me. Like you're gonna have, I bet they run into people like that know it's a prank and then they just like don't give a fuck, and they just don't put those in the video because
Maybe, yeah.
they have to run into people that are like, dude, like get away from me. Like
it just
I know you're
pisses-
messing with me. Just
yeah.
leave.
It just pisses me off that stuff like that gets
It's
a bunch
like
of views.
those. Remember when those old vines, like those like King Batch and like all those
Yeah.
people made those vines that are just so weird and dumb.
Yeah.
Like they're not even funny.
Yeah. So there was a whole thing
It's
in
the
the
same
news
thing.
about King Batch. Did you hear about? Okay.
No.
So there was this whole article written about how King Batch basically got famous off of black stereotypes and how that like sort of comedy could be
yeah.
harmful going forward. But like it wasn't saying like basically that it wasn't necessarily his fault and all this. And I don't think we're equipped to speak on
No,
black
definitely
stereotypes,
not.
right? But it was an interesting perspective. I was like, it got me to think about how comedy, like, okay, my perspective of comedy is that, and this might be an ignorant like thing to think and everything, but I think anything and everything could be joked about, in my opinion, as if it's in good light and in good comedy. And so for them to say that like he was promoting stereotypes with his comedy, it's like, yes, but also I feel like his audience was also other African Americans and other,
Like it
Black
won't be
Americans.
acceptable
So-
if you're like being serious about it.
Like, it
But
wouldn't
if you're
be-
in like a
yeah.
comedic setting, then
Yeah.
it like anything can be joked
But then we
about.
get to the problem of like, okay, well, what if it was Bill Burr or like or Pete Davidson or one of these white comedians that was making stereotypical jokes about race? Technically, like still now in the space that we have, that can still be a thing and it can still be joked about. But I think going forward, comedians are really gonna have to check themselves. Like in the next 10 to 20 years, those kind of jokes are going to be dialed back just because of how it's perceived. And I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. I'm under the mindset that most things, as long as you're in a comedic setting, if you're specifically like at a comedy event, I think anything can be joked about. But if I'm in a room full of people I don't know, I'm not going to make like a joke about, racial stereotypes. Like that's just common sense. But if you're literally like a stand-up comedian at a wherever, at a comedy event or like at a stand-up, a place you do stand-up, I think most things should be on
the table.
On the table for joking. I don't know what
agree.
y'all think.
I mean, I think there could be a certain extent where it's like too far, maybe.
It depends how.
feel like
See,
I
but
don't know.
depends is like not. Depends is not an acceptable.
Because then
like,
if you
Yeah.
could go too far as a thing, then they're like, oh well, I don't want to say this because I don't know if that's too far or not.
yeah, that's
But-
why I think it kind of just should be left. The door should be left open for any kind of joke because
Yeah.
Because
If
then
you
you see
step in-
like random people like getting mad at stand-up comedians.
I mean-
and they're like, I'm not serious.
here's my thing is like
it's just jokes.
is if you can't separate the comedy from like real life, like I don't think, for example, Pete Davidson always jokes about his dad dying in 9/11. Now, if another comedian, they were on a roast, like a Comedy Central roast for him, and someone made a joke about that, and people were saying like, oh, it wasn't funny and all this, and Pete was like, well, like if I can joke about it, why can't they joke about it?
Yeah.
Like people were saying, oh, that's so insensitive of you. I don't understand, I guess, where that line is and if we can even draw that line. Because if we draw a line, right? If we draw a line for comedy, then if it's ever crossed, what happens? Do we just cancel those people?
That's how it is now. I
Yeah.
mean, that's how.
Cancel culture is a thing, unfortunately.
I think if they have to think about if the joke is going to offend anyone or not, they might as well just not say it because most likely it'll.
But wouldn't that be
offend
like
someone.
every joke? That would be like every joke.
It's
then.
most jokes.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
like every joke.
But I feel
Every
like
joke
most
is-
people are like okay with it though. Like it's like only a certain like select few at a show
I would
or
say
whatever.
though, I think I would also argue that if you can be funny and make jokes without it being at another person's expense, you've really found like a golden ticket to comedy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time they are at another person's expense or at a group of people's expense. Like they are going to either offend somebody or make someone like, if they take it too seriously, like feel bad. But if you can find a way to joke and do comedy in a way where it's not at anybody else's expense, like you are a great comedian, 100%. So if we can find more people like that, I guess, then you won't
Who's
run into
like
the
that?
problem.
What comedians do you like can do that? I feel like I don't really know much about
I
comedy.
don't watch
though.
a lot of stand up, so I don't know.
I used to watch a ton of stand-up,
Yeah.
and I would say those comedians, I don't think there's a single one that has never made a joke at another person's
Yeah.
expense, obviously.
I think like you can't.
but
Like that's part
there
of it.
are
like
some.
you have like people like single out people in the show,
Mhm.
and they're like, oh, like I saw this one where this guy was talking and he like asked the guy like, oh, where you're from? He's like, oh, who's with you? Your girlfriend? And he's like, no, it's my mom. And he was like, oh, and then he like made some joke about like his mom being hot or something.
yeah.
And then
I-
it's like that's like, I mean, I feel like nobody ever gets mad about that. But I guess it's more of like the serious.
See, it's subjective. And if you go into a comedy show or if you go to a stand-up show and you're like looking to get offended, you can definitely do
Yeah.
that. So like I've seen multiple times where like someone will go into a stand-up show and then stand up and be like, you should not be on the stage. Like that
Like,
offended
yeah,
me.
like,
And the
you knew
comedian's
he was
just
gonna be
sitting
there.
The comedian's just standing there and they're just like, I don't know what to say. Like, do I
Yeah.
apologize to this person? Like, I'm sorry for offending you, but like that's my purpose is to make you laugh.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time that has to be at the expense of other people because humans do stupid shit and they do funny stuff.
Our camera died again.
Camera died again, damn.
Is that other battery not like charged?
No, it's gonna be charged. We're just gonna be going back and forth for this
That's fine.
whole thing.
We're gonna have to make sure like in the future we actually like charge it.
Yeah.
All right, we can talk about. Do you want to talk about your conspiracy theory about
Yeah.
dreams? Let's talk about. Let's give.
So yeah, we'll just start off. We'll start off with dreams. So this past month, specifically, I've been having really vivid dreams for reasons that will not be revealed on this. But like it's crazy because I'll wake up and I won't feel real because
Really?
my dream felt so real to me.
Dude,
I'll
I've
wake
done
up-
that.
Yeah. So I was just, dude, dreams are weird. And I tried to, like, no one really knows what causes it or why we dream. And so I was just, like, I was wondering, like, what dreams mean to us. Do they actually have a meaning or is it just something that you just,
I definitely
that
feel like.
doesn't matter, you know?
I feel like they like. I definitely feel like dreams have a reasoning
That's
for
what I'm-
being
that's
what
I
they
think,
are
too.
because it's like you have deja vu, and like, do you like y'all get deja vu?
I've had deja vu.
And it's like sometimes you get deja vu from your dreams, and then you like, I don't think that's ever happened in my life, but then you realize that it was like from one of your dreams, and you feel like it was real.
So. Yeah.
And it's like you wake up, and then I'm like, sometimes I wake up, I'm like, thank God it wasn't real, because it was like terrible.
Yeah.
And it was like something that I didn't enjoy or whatever. And then sometimes I'm like, dang, like I woke up and I was ruining such a good dream.
No, I
it's
feel the
weird.
same way. It's I don't know. It's interesting. I feel like dreams are a pathway to something beyond anything we know. I think it's, which leads me into my next thing. So I've got some notes up here. I did some research because this is really interesting. So the pineal gland, it's this little small gland in the middle of our brain, the size of the soybean, and it's dubbed as the third eye because it there's a connection between the physical and spiritual world once it's accessed. And it's thought of that the pineal gland releases DMT.
Like while we're dreaming?
That's what I was thinking. There's no research done, like no one knows for sure if DMT is released while we're dreaming. So the pineal, like its basic function is to regulate our sleep patterns. It releases melatonin. That's what it does. But people think that it also releases DMT. It for sure, they've confirmed that in rats and like other rodents that it does. They have the same gland, and it does release DMT.
What does DMT do? Does it like make you like hallucinate or something?
Well, from my understanding,
like what would that do? Like, why is that significant?
DMT is a substance that I don't know how to like.
It's a drug. Like people like
but
take
it's
it.
also natural though.
No,
That's
it's
the
a
thing.
naturally
It's
produced
naturally
substance. I wouldn't say it's like a drug.
And
no. Because you said we release DMT like
when we die.
When we die.
So
And when we're born,
I've heard when you die, you do release DMT, and so the feeling. This is just from what some people have said, but basically like how some people have said like, oh, I died, I went to heaven, and then I came back to earth. Basically like the theory of thought was like they were dying and they released a ton of DMT and then had this like out of body experience, because DMT is like a substance I've heard like Joe Rogan and other celebrities talk about it. Not that I'm like the biggest Joe Rogan fan, but they've talked about DMT. And for instance, just to give you a sense of like what it does, there was this guy on a podcast on, I think it was Joe Rogan's podcast. I don't know. I can't remember. I think he's like a comedian or something. Yeah. He was also on Bert Kreischer's podcast with, who's that bald comedian? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But he was on Bert's podcast. Yeah. And he said he took DMT one time and he had legit, and I believe this. I don't know why anybody would make this shit up.
I don't know how you make something. I know what you're going to say.
He said he legit had a 3-month-long other life where he had a wife and 2 kids, and he was like human, but they all lived underwater. So he literally could breathe underwater. But their whole life was like, have you ever seen that scene in Star Wars with like Jar Jar Binks and shit when they like go underwater? Yeah. He said it was like that. They had gills and fins and could swim, and they had these like little pods where they lived in, and like they all lived underwater, and he was there for 3 months. But guess how long it was on Earth? Guess how long his trip was?
Like 10 minutes.
10 minutes. He said he was only tripping for 10 minutes, but he legit lived a 3-month-long life.
What?
Underwater. So imagine when you die, right? And you experience this like out-of-body experience or whatever it is when you die, right? The pineal gland releases DMT or whatever it does. And now when you die, you have like this, you have like this.
I'm just trying to like wrap my head around that.
Yeah. So.
And you won't even get there unless you're like ready and prepared to feel like you die. Apparently.
Wait, like so you said he took DMT, so like you could take DMT,
smoke it,
You can
You
smoke
can
DMT.
and you can access the natural DMT in your brain through other methods like meditation. There's
I've heard-
crystals
yeah.
that you can use.
You can use meditation and crystals to like access because we produce DMT daily
yeah.
in our
That's
brains.
So
crazy.
this leads me to my next thing. So DMT is all about ascension, other realms, stuff like that. Fluoride calcifies DMT in your brain, so which it stops the production of it. Fluoride is in our toothpaste. It's in our food. It's in our water.
So you
So
think if
I
you cut
think-
that out of your life, you'd be having even more lucid
Yeah,
dreams?
maybe. I think so.
Are
Do
you
you think
having-
didn't you say earlier do you think the government is
Yeah, I think.
having these things have us take it so it reduces the amount of DMT?
Yeah, I think because us as a collective can't ascend if our pineal gland is calcified. And so
What do you think about? Have you ever had a lucid dream before?
I have.
I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever had that.
A lucid dream
What
is
is
where
that?
you can control your dream, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
when
I've
you're-
not-
when you
Okay.
you consciously know that you're in a dream, and
That's
you,
happened to
and
me.
you can
I've never
make your
had
own
that.
decisions
Have
and
you
stuff
ever?
like that.
Have you ever? What's it called when you're trying to go to sleep, and you kind of get locked in and you can't move?
That's
And-
yeah, I've had that.
and you
before.
feel like
That's
someone's
scary.
standing
Scary
over
as
you?
Fuck. I
What's
um,
that called?
I
Dude, y'all have some
I don't
weird
know-
experiences.
I don't know what
I've
it's
never
called.
had
I know
this
what you're
stuff.
talking about. But yeah, it didn't happen to me before I went to sleep though. It was towards the end of when I was sleeping, and I think my eyes were open and I could see what was in front of me, but I couldn't move my body.
That's
What
so
I
weird.
had happen to me was I could not move my body.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called, dude. There is a very specific word
Yeah.
that I'm looking for. But you're
I'll look it up.
yeah, Google it or something.
What is the concept?
I would just
where you are you can't move?
Oh, it's called sleep paralysis.
Oh, yeah.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that's-
Okay. So sleep paralysis. I've had that happen to me.
Yeah.
And you're basically just laying there, and I would say for me it started with feeling like I was sinking into my bed almost. And then I opened my eyes, and I could open my eyes, but I couldn't move my body. But I felt this presence, bro. You just feel a presence in the room. So I could move my eyes, but imagine laying there, being able to move your eyes, but not see to the left of you because you can't move your head. So you're just laying there and you're looking to the left. And I felt there was this thing right here, but I couldn't see. I knew I couldn't see it. It was up here, right? And so I would just move my eyes. I think there's somebody watching me or something there. And
Dude,
I
that's
finally
so
just
weird.
no. You know what I had to do? I just calmed down.
Yeah.
I just said, you know what? Whatever this is probably gonna pass. I'm not gonna die right now. There's nobody in my room, right? I just had to calm down.
You were just
and
hallucinating
I just
a little
breathed
bit.
in and out. Yeah, and I just went to sleep. And I woke up and I was fine. But I didn't wake up from the sleep paralysis. I didn't just snap out of it. I just went to sleep. And I was just you know what? I'll handle this shit
Has that
tomorrow.
happened to you? You've had sleep paralysis before?
I've had it. I've had it before, yeah, but not
Dude,
before going
that's
to
so
sleep.
creepy.
It was.
I'd be
after I was-
scared. It's scary, right?
Yeah.
That's
It's so
insane.
weird.
That's I've never had
It's
anything
weird.
like
And
that
you
happen
haven't
to
had a
me.
lucid dream either?
No.
That's pretty fun though. You can
You can
control
do it on
your
purpose. Yeah,
shit.
no, you can purposely lucid
No,
dream.
that I feel like
there's
that would be
ways to
fun, but
access that.
that's never happened to me.
Have
if you want to lucid dream, there's ways you can.
Have you had really crazy dreams though?
Yeah, I've had dreams that have woken me up.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Or,
not any crazy, but
sweating.
yeah, I've had really sweaty dreams
Yeah.
where I wake up and it's really intense, whatever I was doing or whatever in the
yeah.
dream, you're obviously your body moves. And so,
Dude, I have dreams where I feel like I can feel everything. You know?
yeah,
Guys obviously have wet dreams and shit.
yeah,
But I mean those they're pretty realistic.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
When you dead ass when people say they can feel stuff in their dreams, you can feel that 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Or I've been stabbed in my dream and literally felt so uncomfortable.
really.
Dude, I had a dream where I was in a war or something. I had guns and I was shooting people, and I would get shot and die, but then I would just revive.
Do you
And
have
I would-
lives?
Yeah, I had lives. So I was in Call of Duty or something, dude. It was funny though.
I wish if I die in my dream just stops every time.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. If I die, it just stops. So I never like I try to and like I can control my dreams too. So I like try to prevent death. Like,
Y'all
all the
ever
time
had
in
like
my
a
dreams.
really like good dream and it like ends right like
Yeah.
you wake up like right before the
The
good
best
thing
part,
happens
Yeah.
and you're
No,
like
that,
fuck,
that happens
like-
every time to me.
and then you like try and go to sleep again and then it just like never
I never have like a good outcome to my dreams.
really.
See, do you think that means something?
I don't know. Does
I
that mean
think
my
dreams-
life is gonna be shit?
No, I don't know. I just feel like dreams. There's a deeper meaning to.
I feel like there is.
Dude,
what the
100%.
content of them.
Because honestly, I view dreams like it's another dimension, almost like
That's
literally.
what
Because
that's what I
I don't
think, too.
understand how I can be asleep, but my mind is moving
Yeah.
at a faster pace than it does when I'm awake.
I think we
like-
go somewhere else when we
right?
dream. I think we're
Because-
not in our.
Because when
bodies.
I dream, it feels like my brain is working so much harder than it
Yeah.
does when I'm like trying to solve a math problem. Because I don't know how it comes up with the shit that feels real. Like I feel like I'm actually in a video game.
Yeah. And you
And some people don't dream at all. So I feel like
Yeah,
I'm one of
there's
the
been
lucky
definitely
ones.
like times where like I'll go weeks without having a dream.
Really? I
maybe
I
you
dream
do dream, you just don't remember it.
I dream almost every time I
Yeah,
sleep.
Yeah.
that could be
Every
possible.
time.
Like you could dream, but like it's not.
And
But
so
like
my
I just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
my grandpa, he used to have really, really vivid dreams too. And he's not like biologically related to me. So it's not like a generational thing or anything, but he would like sleepwalk too. So he would he would wake up in the middle of the night. He said one time like he was sitting there laying in bed and a hand just came down from the ceiling and just like gave him a fist bump, and he literally just reached up, gave him a fist bump, and it went right back up. Or he would walk out. He said one time he was sleepwalking and he walked out into the kitchen, like their bedroom was like in the back area of their house, right? He walks out from the bedroom
Yeah.
into the kitchen, and he just sees my younger brother just sitting there and has a conversation for like 30 minutes with him, and then
He
walks.
doesn't
and then-
remember a thing.
Well, he remembers it, but he woke up the next day and was like, Andrew, like, you remember our conversation last night, like late at night? And Andrew's like, nah.
Oh, so Andrew wasn't
Yeah.
really there.
No, he wasn't. It was like just a figment of my grandpa's imagination.
I think that's cool, dude.
It's cool,
That's
but that would
insane.
also be weird, right? Like,
Yeah,
and
but-
he said he would wake up and he would just walk around and meet random people that would come in his house.
That would mess
That
with
would
my
Like
freak me
random
out.
people
Because
that would
then
just
when
come
you're
in his
like
house, right?
actually conscious, like you would feel like people are gonna come into your house.
Like you said,
random.
one time he woke up and there were hundreds of people just in his house. I'm dead ass. I'm dead ass. Think about that. Like you wake up and you start walking around your house and there's people there.
Yeah.
And
It's just
you
a
think
party
it's
or something.
real. And you just go along with it because you think it's just like what it is, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like when you're dreaming, you give less shits than you do in real life.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like when I'm dreaming, if something is like off, I'm just like, well, like, okay, this is how it is, right? In real life, I obviously wouldn't be that way. So I feel like that was his mindset. So when people would come in, he said he would just be nice to them and just sit them down and have a cup of coffee. But I don't think he would like actually like make the coffee. It would just like already be made in his dream, for example. I don't know. That's a very weird concept to me too, because that's never happened to me. Like sleepwalking is not my thing. I like lay in bed.
I feel like sleepwalking is such a weird thing too, because that's a whole other dimension of dreaming, like where you can actually like act like you're in your dream basically.
Yeah.
None of my family members have ever sleptwalked or done any of that.
What's a dream that y'all have had that has like changed your life? Can you name one off the top of your head, or is it hard for y'all to
I don't
remember
have
your dreams?
one that I can remember that like has changed my life.
What do you mean? What
Like
do you
has
mean by that?
impacted you? Like you're like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, when you wake up.
I mean, I don't think I've.
I don't think so.
I
Have you?
just
I don't think
remember
I've woken
having-
up from a dream and was like,
Really?
damn, I really got to change this, or I got to do this differently, or something.
I
don't
just
know.
remember having a dream where I had like everything I ever wanted. So like I was like rich as fuck, or like I forget like all of the context behind it, but I basically was like living in this penthouse in Miami, and like I just had everything I ever wanted. But I remember being extremely unhappy in the dream.
Interesting.
So that was like a turning point for me because I realized I was like, okay, I could have everything in the world. In this dream, I had everything in the world. Everything. Anything I could imagine in this dream. Stuff I don't want to say like on the podcast, right? But like just I had everything at my fingertips. But in reality, I just remember being like walking down the street, and I've never even been to Miami, right? I just had like the dream of rich Miami. Like that's just what like was in my brain. And I was just walking down the street, and I just remember like bawling when I was walking down the street, just crying like in front of everybody, walking down the street and not caring if anybody saw, because I was like that, like depressed and sad. And I just remember waking up from the dream and being like, okay, that kind of changed my perspective a little bit. I don't know about y'all, but that's just happened to me.
Yeah, that's
a couple times.
That's when dreams mean something. That's why I think it goes beyond just something where it's like, oh, it was just a dream and you just forget about it. I think there's actual meaning to what you dream and why you dream it.
Have you ever have you heard that theory about someone's calling me?
Man.
Have you ever heard that theory about how if you are awake at night and you like can't sleep, that you're actually like in somebody else's dream? Have you heard that theory?
I've never heard that before.
Okay.
What?
So there's a theory that if it's like late at night and you like can't sleep, you're like tossing and turning in bed, that like you are awake.
Or
in
there's like
somebody
a
else's
waiting.
dream.
There's like a waiting line.
Yeah,
There's a
It's
wait line.
it's that like you are a part of somebody else's
Yeah.
dream
So
right
you
now,
can-
and
The
like
dreams
so
are
you
all
can't-
the-
your own
Uh-huh.
Like I heard that they're like, if you couldn't go to sleep, and like you can't like go to sleep, it's like, oh, you're like next in line to like be in a dream.
Uh-huh.
Like there's like
Or
a
something
wait.
like that.
something like that.
Something
yeah.
like that.
It's
That's
so weird.
yeah.
Where there's
I've
like
heard
only
that
amount
theory.
of certain
That's cool.
Uh-huh.
like dreams at a time, and like you gotta wait till someone else's dream
I mean,
ends.
dude, that could be a thing. We don't know, right?
That's crazy.
That's the thing, is there's a lot of things we don't know about. The science of dreams is just so
No
interesting
one
to
knows,
me.
and it's scary because no one knows anything about them.
To
Like,
me,
they've tried to do-
like I said, the people on the podcast know that like
you gotta silence that.
they know that I'm like not religious and stuff. So to me, I like take that stuff very seriously. So
Yeah.
like dreams to me are almost like another dimension,
They are.
you know?
Yeah.
That's a crazy thing, but we're pretty long.
Oh, we are? What's our time
1
right now?
hour and 4 minutes.
Wow, we spent the whole time talking about dreams.
That was so interesting though.
That's
like,
okay.
It like blows your mind.
That's okay. We have multiple episodes coming up anyway, so
Yeah.
this was another great episode of the
Yes.
Foers Podcast. Hopefully, we might have a special guest. We might have a fourth host
fourth
for
member,
the
yeah,
next
by next time.
podcast. So this was episode 3, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This was.
All right, we're doing pretty good.
Yep.
We're just chugging
Thanks for
along.
listening. We'll be back next week, and we'll see you guys later.
Yes, sir. Peace out,
See you
guys.
guys.
Peace.